Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a pick a card reading, and today's theme is going to be, what is your soul's origin? So this is a theme that I wanted to close off the energetic new year with. We wanted to close off Pisces season with this theme here. I really feel like it's a good way to wrap up the astrological new year before we start the before we step into the spring equinox, before we start the new astrological new year. So I have 3 different piles here for you guys. Pile 1 is going to be sublimation. Keep in mind that these are general readings. They may not resonate for everyone. If you want me to pick up on your energy in upcoming readings, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Pile 2 will be copper. And then pile 3 will be resin. So I will let you guys choose one pile for this. I don't know why I said it that way. Because I was going to say that there's probably only one pile here for you, since we're looking at your soul's origin, where your soul came from before it was human, before it incarnated into any type of life form aside from spirit. So I would say that you only have one pile here. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to choose your pile, and then I will see you in your timestamp reading below. Okay, so I will see you guys in your reading. Bye. Okay, pile 1, if you guys have chosen the sublimation card, this is going to be your reading on what is your soul's origin. Where do you come from? What is, yeah, basically where you come from. I'm just going to leave it up here. I think we should have enough space for the oracle cards. But yeah, so what I want to start off with here is that sublimation is one of the steps of alchemy, one of the 7 steps of alchemy, of the process of basically, well, there's 2 different definitions. So the true definition of alchemy is turning base metals into gold, turning lead into gold, alchemizing different metals to turn into gold. But the spiritual meaning can be taking your difficult life experiences and changing them into something positive, changing them into something that you can grow from and learn from, and then help others with as well. So I feel like with this card coming through, I want to say this is the 4th step of alchemy. I could be wrong, but I really feel like with this card coming through, there's something here about it's like your soul already had some sort of mission. And I know this is not like a past life reading, but I'm feeling that with this energy, there's something about your soul having already had some sort of experience when it came to like living as a life form. But I want to read a little bit more about this before I even talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the book here, and I'm going to read what it says about sublimation. Okay. All right, so we have sublimation, elevation, rising, and flight. Sublimation is the great alchemical operation of air. It occurs when there is enough heat to change a solid substance into a gas, causing it to rise up, up, and away. Therefore, when sublimation is present, there is an aspect of celebrated elevation, of ascending above and gaining a greater perspective. Birds in flight, mountain peaks, excuse me, ladders and balloons are all sublimation images. As with all the operations, sublimation has a shadow potential. Through ascension, there is a risk of separating from others, of sensing oneself higher or above. This risk is particularly great in spiritual traditions that offer a linear model of achievement. The divine alchemist rises humbly and supports the upliftment of others, always in touch with the cycle of humanity. Service is a natural balancing agent for sublimation. It may be the next rung on your ladder. So this also talks about the magic of air travel. So there's a lot about air coming through. So I'm getting, for whatever reason, that maybe you guys, honestly, you guys, it's like I'm getting that you were incarnated as a bird. Like you were a bird, or you were some form of like creature of flight, or maybe you were in the ethers, like you, well, obviously, but it's like you had access to flight and seeing the things that around you. It's like you were experienced enough, your soul was experienced enough to be able to look at other things, to examine maybe the earthly plane, to examine the world around you. You were not really limited to one space. You were able to see everything. I'm getting like an omniscient eye, an all-seeing eye type of energy, and you could have definitely been a bird. Some of you guys could be air signs. You could identify as an air sign, or you have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in your chart. Let me see if there's anything else significant here. So we have here, hike up a mountain or gaze out an airplane window. Notice sublimation occurring within. You may feel wonder, awe, or a shift in perspective. use this energy to write or draw. So there's something here about the energy of air, or the air element, very much being of motivation to you guys. Maybe you guys feel very drawn to windy weather, when it's cold outside, or even just being outdoors, getting some fresh air really helps you get a clearer perspective on things. And I think on this side it says, disassociation is an example of sublimatio in shadow. When this card appears, reconnect with the feelings you'd rather avoid, be with them rather than rising above them. I'm also getting, for some of you guys, like maybe you could have been, here, let's put the rest of your oracle cards first before I say that, but we have surrender, and we have fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. Yeah, so I'm getting, for some of you guys, you could have definitely been like an alien form. Because I'm just feeling how there's not really a connection to emotions with this energy. It's more so an energy of thinking and observation. I'm not really getting an energy of like speaking either. So I feel like you were definitely some sort of galactic like life form where you were able to have access to Earth. Like you were able to see it. You were able to view things from above. You could come in and out of the ozone layer, something like that. But there's something here about you liking your independence. You were it's like you, where your soul was in this time before you decided to come down, you were a very independent soul. So I don't know, I'm getting like you could have been definitely some sort of otherworldly life form here, where it's almost like coming down to earth as a human would have been a new experience for you. You wanted to experience that because it was very different from where you come from. Yeah, there's something about like it's like you chose to come here. You chose to come here because you saw that it would be a very different experience. I'm getting that you did not ever experience, before coming down to earth, you did not experience the physical senses. You did not know what it was like to have a body, or to eat, or to communicate, or to do things like that. So I feel like that's something you really wanted to learn how to do. You wanted to experience that. Yeah, it's like the experience on earth is very different from where you come from. It's like you had no body, you were free to roam as you pleased, you were just spirit, you were spirit form. But it definitely feels more of like, almost like an intergalactic type of energy, where you could come in and out, and you could kind of travel to other dimensions, you could see other things, and you chose to come to earth because of the physicality of it. We have surrender twice here, holding the opposites. I feel like with sublimation also coming through, since this is the fourth step of alchemy, like I was saying about your soul having some sort of like intelligence. I'm hearing artificial intelligence. So maybe you guys are like in this lifetime, maybe you are really drawn to technology. Maybe you know how to invent things, you know how to create things. You're very good with technology. You're very good with electronics, things like that. There's something about your frequency being very high when it comes to those things, being very experienced when it comes to those things. And I feel like you decided to come down here because you could almost like hold space for other people who maybe could not connect to these higher life forms, or were not. There's something about you guys being very intelligent. So I feel like you guys are very claircognizant, like you just know things. Downloads come into your mind and you just know, like you have the answer to things and you don't know where it comes from sometimes. And I feel like it's because you could be connected to other galaxies, aliens, definitely birds of flight. I'm just getting like birds being very important as well. So maybe you could have incarnated as a bird before you were a human, to experience what it was like before you decided to actually have a human experience. Because I do feel like, yeah, it's like you took a couple steps before you decided to be a human here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this book as well, because I feel like there could be a message from this one too. Yeah, I don't know why I feel there's just like this overwhelming feeling of like you guys had some sort of knowledge to share. It was not like your first rodeo witnessing humans or having access to Earth. So that's why I really feel like you guys could have been birds for a couple lifetimes. Like you just saw the things that would happen on planet Earth. You saw the way that humans would interact with each other. And it's almost like you wanted to experience that. But it's like you also came because I feel like you have some sort of intelligence that you wanted to share. It's like you are a good leader when it comes to your mind. And I'm also getting that maybe when it comes to your words, like vocalizing things, that could have been something difficult for you. Maybe you had to, some of you could have like, I don't know why I'm getting like speech impediments, or you could be neurodivergent in some way where maybe language has been difficult for you, but you've learned to cope with it. You've learned to use it in a positive way. You've learned how to like navigate the world of language, because you guys are very intelligent. Like there's this very like I said, sharp intelligence, almost like otherworldly intelligence, claircognizant intelligence coming through. But when it came to like speaking, that's something you had to learn how to do. Okay, let's see. So we have surrender, trust, letting go of control, free flow, receptivity, yin energy, inner knowing, intuition, synchronistic opportunities, getting out of your way, the path of least resistance, allowing who you naturally are to flourish. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I should read this whole thing though. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you know what? I am going to read it because I feel like this would be significant. Surrendering can be one of the hardest things to do. Trusting that we can achieve more by loosening our control can take great courage. Sometimes the most constructive way forward is to stop forcing things into being rather than allowing, inviting, and drawing a project into being. The energy here is of frustration, as if you are pushing something heavy up a mountain. At these times, gravity or flow don't seem to be on your side. Use this awareness as a guide when you start to detour from your path. Yeah, okay, so I'm getting like how I was saying that you guys could have incarnated as birds before you were a human. It's like you had a couple lifetimes as like a bird or an animal. Definitely a bird, something where you could see, like you were able to fly, you were able to have access to the skies and higher elevation levels. And I feel like what this is trying to say here, using gravity or flow, use this awareness as a guide when you start to detour from your path. There's something about like the next step of your soul's growth was to be a human. And maybe you really liked being a bird. Maybe you really liked being this like claircognizant intelligence where you didn't have to speak and you could just communicate telepathically. But there's something about your soul really wanted to experience the process of becoming a human and living on a physical reality. So I feel like that was like the next step of your soul's growth. And maybe some of you resisted it. Maybe some of you didn't want it. It's almost like you kind of like flipped a coin and it landed on heads and you're like, all right, it landed on heads, like, let's do this. But it was almost like for some of you, it could have been against your will. Or for some of you guys, it was like, I don't know if I really want to do this, but I know I have to type of thing. So it was just part of your soul's growth. Like you had already experienced a couple lifetimes being an animal, being this intelligence being, where it's like, now let's put this intelligence into a human and see what you can do with it and see how you can kind of hold the extremes of life, or how you can bring this intelligence that you have to a physical reality. Because we have surrender twice. So yeah, so some of you guys could have been fighting this. When control is released, so too is resistance. One of the biggest skills we can learn is to get out of our own way. When we are in a receptive place, we are open to a world of opportunities and the great mysteries can unveil themselves. The mind loves to control the outcome, but this only creates limitations. Yeah, so you guys like maybe over-identified with your intelligence or with your mind, and you had to experience a physical reality. You had to experience the senses, and there's something about having to experience the creative and intuitive side as well. So you guys right now, maybe you could really identify with your masculine side. You guys could be a man, or maybe you have a very strong masculine energy where that's more comfortable for you, and you tend to lean on that side more. So let's see. It can feel scary, but when we allow ourselves to be caught by the universe, myriad of possibilities open to us. This painting is called A Star is Born, and its message is about becoming the star you came here to be. You can reach your peak life experience through surrendering and allowing who and what you truly are to flourish. Today, be more by doing and trying less. This advice goes against the grain of our striving culture that encourages us to source from outside ourselves and to busy ourselves out of a natural state of all-knowing bliss. Surrender is a key moment in the life. Surrender is a key element in the creative process. When I let go and flow, allowing intuition over direction, I can create far more powerful works. That is not to say our lives should be left to slipstream. This message is about freeing ourselves from the paradigm of control and force. Yes, we can achieve with this mode, but we can also lose opportunities for magic. A synchronistic meeting, following our intuition and being caught in the right place at the right time can outweigh months of careful planning. Yeah, I really do feel, again, it's like you really had to come into this lifetime. You had to become a human to learn how to be creative, to channel that energy in a different way, to learn how to be intuitive. Because I really feel like where you truly, truly come from, like you're just a mind, or you're just intelligence, like pure intelligence. And there's something that your soul had to learn, or wanted to learn about, being a little bit more spontaneous, being a little bit more intuitive. So we have here, loosen your hold on the reins and know that the universe will catch you. Trust, even though things are not as you imagined. Stay poised and aligned with your purpose. At the last minute, the situation will reveal its magic. So this is telling me that some of you guys, it's like you guys might even have this like deep soul feeling inside of you where it's like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, how am I supposed to use my intelligence? How am I supposed to use, like, what is my purpose? How do I bring this together? Some of you guys might have even been wondering, it's like, yeah, it's like, what am I even doing here? Like, what was my purpose? How do I make something happen? Some of you guys could really struggle with like the material side of things, where it's difficult for you to manifest in the physical, or you find like daily tasks or daily life very boring or very difficult to do, which is why I really feel like some of you guys could be like, you could have some sort of neurodivergence. I do, no shame, so I'm not calling anybody out, but I feel like it's a superpower. I feel like it gives you this edge. It gives you this ability to see and perceive things that other people can't, and you can see things in a very different way. And this is what I feel like you guys are. So it's like, how do I use my intelligence in a physical world with so many limitations? How do I use the knowledge that I have to make a difference? Yeah, so I feel like this is where you guys are now. It's like, how do I do this? Okay, so what can you tell me here? Let's get into the tarot. What else can you tell me here about, I've already pre-shuffled these, but I think I'm just going to do one more. What else can you tell me here? Yeah, I'm just getting this like feminine masculine thing. It's like you guys could really struggle with your feminine masculine identity. Some of you guys could even be, like you could be part of the LGBTQ community, definitely. Because it's like, you could even be, yeah, it's like some of you, I'm getting like you're non-binary, or like you don't identify with gender or something like that, because you are a pure intelligence is what you truly are, where you truly come from, and where a pure intelligence, your origin, doesn't really have a gender. It's just intelligence. So that's something you might struggle with. What else can you tell me here about pile one's soul origin, where they come from, where their soul comes from? King of Cups. King of Pentacles, okay. What else can you tell me about pile one's soul origin? Seven of Swords, Five of Cups. Let's get one more. An Eight of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much what I'm saying here, the Mother Star. So what I'm seeing here is kind of it's wrapping up everything that I've been saying. It's like this experience of being a human has, some of you might struggle with your emotions as well. It's like you might struggle with making head over heart decisions, because it's like, what the hell are these emotions? Some of you might push them away. Some of you have gone through very difficult and very trying experiences with your emotions. Some of you could have been depressed. You could have felt very like deep down in your emotions at some point in your life. You could have been deceived by another. Maybe some of you came into this lifetime with a very like, because a lot of the times we forget where we come from, right? Our memory is wiped clean. That's part of what it means to come down into a new incarnation. We forget who we are, we forget where we come from, and we have to start over. And I feel like what happened here is like some of you came in maybe very open to love, or very open to connection, very compassionate, very intuitive and creative. And then throughout your life experiences, you've been kind of trapped in your mind. You've gone through things where people have lied to you, deceived you, hurt you, left you behind, or you just had very difficult experiences with your emotions and your mind, to the point where it's like you've gotten stuck in your head, and maybe you feel like you've been too anxious, or it's like you're trapped in this construct of your mind where it's like that's where you feel comfortable. But I feel like because obviously you're having this human experience, it's more difficult for you, because you now have emotions to deal with. You now have a physical reality to deal with. You have people to deal with. You have to speak. You have to communicate to others. And this is something that's very difficult for you to do. And with this Mother Star energy coming through, I'm just getting this energy of like, I want to go home. Like, I want to go back to where I came from. I'm getting a download about maybe someone here, like you could be a mother. Maybe you have children and you really struggle with motherhood. And it's something that you have a hard time talking about, or it's something that you have a hard time coming to terms with, because maybe it's very difficult for you to be emotionally present for other people, or maybe it's very difficult for you to just get going, like getting along. It's like it's very difficult for you. And I feel like, again, it's because your soul it comes from an origin of mental intelligence, of the air element. So dealing with communication, taking care of other people, nurturing people, being there for other people, that's something that's been very difficult for you. Let's see, how do we want to move this forward? Seven of Swords. How can we work here with the Eight of Swords? How can pile one work with the Eight of Swords energy to help them feel less trapped, less anxious? Yeah, some of you guys might even feel like a slave to your mind. We have the Ten of Cups and the Lovers. So your advice here for you guys is basically to learn how to connect, learn how to live in harmony, learn how to live in peace and union with other people. I feel like, again, this is something that's difficult for you, but maybe some of you guys really wanted, yeah, Nine of Swords. It's like some of you guys are really stressed out about this, but it's like your soul really wanted the experience of having a family, of falling in love, of bringing emotional joy to other people and experiencing that emotional joy as well. You are supposed to experience true love. You are supposed to experience getting along with other people, having lots of friends, things like that. You are supposed to be emotionally fulfilled in this lifetime. So I feel like what you guys need to let's see, like how can pile one get past the Eight of Swords here? How can they get past the Eight of Swords? We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, Page of Swords. So one of your big lessons here in this lifetime is learning to cope with your emotional capacity. Some of you guys might actually, like, maybe you were born with a very, very large emotional capacity. You feel things very deeply, you're very sensitive. Again, I'm just getting, again, like this neurodivergent energy, or like sensory overload where you feel things very deeply, and maybe over time you've learned to turn it off. But I feel like what you're supposed to do is work through this. Like, you're supposed to feel. One of your life purposes here is to feel deeply, to leave behind things that don't serve you, to learn what serves you and what doesn't, and to move forward with the things that do. With this octopus energy, it's like I'm getting that you're meant to learn how to hold space for not just yourself, but for other people. Like, it's part of your mission here. It's part of your karma. It's part of your destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So some of you guys, in order to get to where you need to be, you need to deal with your emotions first. You need to deal with the things that you've let fester in your mind and in your heart, the grudges that you've held, or the things that you can't let go of, the things or the people that you can't forget or forgive. There's something about really needing to work through your own emotional depth before you can actually feel fulfilled, technically speaking here. Not to say that we're ever 100% happy, but there's something here about you will be a lot happier and you will feel a lot more content and joyful and connected to others when you're able to connect to your own emotions first. So some of you could identify, like, you could be Aquarius, Scorpio, Cancer for some of you guys, Pisces, I'm getting. Yeah. It's like I'm getting two extreme opposites here. So like some of you were born with like a lot of Aquarius or Capricorn in your chart, where you, like, it's very difficult for you to feel. Like, you just, maybe feeling is not natural for you and you've had to teach yourself how. And then for others of you, you were born maybe with a lot of water placements, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, where it's like you were kind of thrown into this incarnation with like feeling things so deeply that you don't know what to do with them, and it's like you learned how to turn them off. So it's like two different sides. You were given two different sides depending on your life experiences. Here is kind of what the universe gave you to work with. But ultimately, I really do feel you are meant to have a family. You're meant to experience happiness. You are meant to get along with other people, and maybe some of you guys are even meant to help others through this as well. I really do feel like your intelligence and your perspective on things, it really can help others. So you are meant to be some sort of leader or helper or guide for other people in that sense too. I'm definitely getting like a teacher energy, a speaker, some sort of like counselor, maybe marriage counselor, family counselor, something like that. Something, and for others of you, maybe something that has to do with children or neurodivergent children specifically. Especially the children who have a hard time expressing themselves, like nonverbal children, autistic children, things like this, maybe just anything like that. But ultimately, it's pointing it all back to you. It's pointing all back to you to being able to Sit with your emotions, process them, alchemize your emotions. Again, sublimation, remember this is the 4th step of alchemy. You are meant to, what does it say again? Because I think now it's all coming full circle with this energy. Yeah, it says when there's enough heat to change a solid substance into gas, causing it to rise up and away. So what you need to do is apply enough heat, enough emotional pressure to something that you're feeling in order to either like feel it, to process it, to let it go. I always like to say that feelings are temporary, emotions are temporary. We have to actually feel them. It's an energy in the body, and once we feel it, we can let it go. So this makes a lot of sense. So it's like you guys have to learn how to feel things deeply, feel things completely, and then being able to release them. And then it talks about how they can liken this energy to birds in flight, to balloons being released. So think of it that way. Think about your essence as an intelligence, your past lives as a bird or something in flight, something where you were able to move very freely. Think of it that way. Think of your emotions kind of being released as balloons or birds, things that you can let go of, things that you don't really have to hold on to. 8 of Cups, this octopus is holding on to 8 different cups and it's weighing them down. So you have to learn how to let go of the things that you cannot control, the things that are not meant to stay with you, because you're meant to be this light energy, a free-flowing energy to help others work with their emotions as well. And then some of you guys here with this shadow side, you could have definitely struggled with dissociating, where, I mean, if you've been through trauma, you know what dissociation is like. You kind of just pretend like you're not in that reality. You learn how to cope with your reality by emotionally removing yourself from it. So this is something that you guys might really struggle with. So really what this is telling me is that you have to learn to feel. You have to learn how to be in the body, to ground yourself, to cry, to laugh, to feel things deeply, because you've already had, I'm hearing up to 4 lives of being an intelligence, past lives. So now it's like this life, you have to really learn how to feel, because that's part of your soul's growth. That's part of your karma here. It's just part of what you're meant to do. I feel like I'm going to go ahead and leave it here for you guys. I don't think I have anything else to add here. No. Yeah, I feel like this is a good place to leave it. So I really hope I was able to connect you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you. Bye. Hey pile 2, if you guys have chosen copper, this is going to be your reading on what is your soul's origin. So as I was sitting on this energy, as I was meditating on this, I feel like you guys could actually be so the first energy I was getting, so we have the sign of Venus here. So I feel like some of you guys can feel very drawn to feminine energy, or maybe you are a woman in this lifetime. Maybe you feel like you're naturally very intuitive, very psychic. And then I was getting something about like blood. Copper just reminded me of blood, or how kind of metal gets oxidized. Copper can oxidize, and notice how it'll turn green here. So there's something about maybe you guys feeling, because I was also getting like you guys could actually come from like water. You could come from some sort of sea life is what your soul originates from. So you guys could honestly be from Atlantis. You could be like you could identify with Atlantis or Lemuria. You could definitely feel like you were alive during those times. And I'm getting a very intuitive energy, very intuitive, but an energy that can also like strike when it needs to, or fight back when it needs to. So what I want to do before I lay out the rest of your oracle cards is I'm going to read what the book says about this element of copper here for you guys. So yeah, we have fertility, the womb, and Venus. Make sure this is focused. Yeah. So in ancient times, on an island called Cyprus, copper was mined extensively to make vessels and tools. This island is the same fertile ground of Aphrodite, the goddess associated with the planet Venus and the forces of love, pleasure, and fertility. Such is the magic of copper. This golden-hued metal elicits delight and mystique, even a sense of awe. The copper card marks the arrival of Eros into the laboratory. It is likely the alchemist has been hard at work for too long, prioritizing scholarly pursuits over sensual pleasure. Get ready for a shift of priorities, for an awakening of the heart and the life-generating centers of the body. In the true alchemical experiment, nothing is excluded or separate from the work. Bring sensuality into the fold and embrace it with reverence and curiosity. Aphrodite smiles upon you. So we have here through bright and warm. Oh, though bright and warm when polished, copper quickly oxidates, turning green or blue. Discern if a metaphorical polishing up is in order. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting that with this copper energy coming through. You come from an ancient time, and it has to do with water. It has to do with, like, definitely Atlantis, Lemuria, or something that has to do with primitive life forms or creatures that lived in ancient times in the water. And I definitely feel like you guys have a way of telepathic communication, which is why I was feeling the psychic energy, because in those times we didn't speak. Those creatures or organisms did not speak. They used telepathy to communicate. And it's just really reminding me of Atlantis, of like the ruins of Atlantis, or like the just ruins that you would find under the sea. So I really feel like your soul is very ancient. I feel like you come from very ancient times, definitely before Christ, all of that stuff. So let's see what this side says. In esoteric wisdom traditions, Venus and copper are associated with the kidneys. A letting go is likely required in order to embrace arrows with open arms. Some of you guys could be Libra. Some of you guys could be Taurus. And some of you guys could be Pisces, is what I'm feeling. I feel what you guys... So coming from this time, right? Coming from ancient sea life, ancient times before... basically before, I don't want to say, I guess before there were humans, but it kind of feels like you guys could struggle when it comes to your sensuality, when it comes to expressing your sexual side, because maybe obviously things were different where your soul comes from. Maybe you did not experience certain sensations. Maybe you were just a telepathic being that lived in the water, and you kind of, there's something about vibrations, like feeling things through the water vibrations. And there's something here about maybe in this lifetime you guys having to really experience your sensual side, really experience your creative side, maybe your sacral chakra. There's something about your sacral chakra maybe being blocked. I'm getting that some of you guys, I don't know why I'm getting all of this stuff. It's like some of you guys could have gone through some sort of like sexual trauma, sexual assault, or something like that. I'm also getting something about gaslighting. Like maybe you guys could have been gaslit a lot when it came to your emotions. Some of you guys could definitely have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or maybe you have a very strong Neptune. I feel like Neptune's energy is very important here. Some of you guys, I'm getting that you might not remember this lifetime, or some of you do, definitely. But I want to see, let me put out the rest of your cards. So we have Soul Star Chakra merging with the Divine. And we have I'm Sorry, defenselessness, writing past wrongs, and uprooting. Interesting. It's almost like I'm getting that you could have been part of the side of, or some, you could have, okay, how do I say this? You could have been in wherever you originate from, your soul definitely feels like Atlantis or Lemuria or something like that, something with water. It feels like you could have been maybe part of the downfall of this society. And maybe you have memories, there's something about like memories of drowning coming through, memories of like repentance. It's like you feel guilty for something. You definitely feel guilty for something that has happened. So it's like maybe you guys have this feeling of guilt. Or remorse. It's like you were born with this feeling of guilt. It's like you feel guilty for being alive. You feel, maybe you over apologize. Maybe you're very sensitive. There's something about you guys feeling like you've always had this feeling that you were doing something wrong, or that you were, I don't know, it's like you, I don't know, I'm getting like you were a sinner. It's like maybe you, in this lifetime, you've learned how to form a very close relationship with the universe, with God, with the divine. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with some sort of guilt that you carry from a past, from this experience of being this soul in this lifetime. Whether it's because you were part of the downfall, or whether it's because you feel guilty for, you guys feel guilty for something, but it's like your soul has this guilt. And I feel like part of you guys coming into this incarnation was to maybe deal with the heavy emotions that arose from this experience. I really do feel like if you were part of this society, you definitely drowned during the downfall, or something happened here where maybe you felt responsible for what happened. I'm going to go ahead and read the Soul Star. I honestly feel like if you guys struggle with feelings of guilt or remorse, or like you're at fault for something, it's definitely because of this. Like, it's because of where you come from. It's I'm getting that you could have had a couple lifetimes here, or it was like one major lifetime. So we have here transcendence, letting go, being filled with divine light, channeling, karmic records, the bridge between the spiritual and the physical realms, and ascension. I'm also getting that I really feel that for you guys, past life regression or hypnotherapy would be very helpful for you in order to tap back into maybe what happened in this very ancient time, because I really do feel like some of you, your soul is very old, but maybe you have not been incarnated for a very long time. I'm not sure how long, but it feels like you were around, like in the very primitive times, you were around during Atlantis, and then maybe you did not come back for a while, and then you are now back, but you still struggle with these feelings. There's something about your soul being very old, but not being so experienced. So maybe you only had, or maybe there were large gaps between your incarnations or something like that. So I feel like doing some sort of past life regression or healing work would really help you uncover like what actually happened here, because it's kind of foggy. I'm getting a lot of Neptune energy, a lot of watery energy, where it's like you don't really know what happened. And I feel like, honestly, some of you guys could have been part of like what was the downfall of that society, and I feel like it had a lot to do with abusing, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Abusing some sort of intellectual advancements that were part of that society, because Atlantis, Lemuria, they were a very intelligent society. There was a lot of like intellectual intelligence, intellectual lucidity. There was a lot of just knowing, a lot of telepathy. And what happened is, I don't know like all the details, but I do know that there was a power struggle in this society where some beings decided to use this energy and this power too much. They decided to go overboard with it, and it caused the fall of the society. So maybe you guys were part of those beings where you took advantage of your power, or maybe you took advantage of your intelligence, or just maybe you had a very high position and you took advantage of it. Maybe you, I don't know, you did something, you feel like you did something, that you're at fault for something because you struggle with these feelings of guilt. And it's almost like you feel like you are supposed to make things right with the divine. You are supposed to balance out your karma. So we have here, this image captures the merging of time beyond space and kaleidoscopic wisdom that penetrates our being. We have lived in many worlds, all interconnected. They uphold the lessons they carry as messages of transformation. Their synergy creates the expansion of the universe. Gaze into the place where the light between our stardust can become anything, and collective evolution is part of a grander story. When we simply let go, we become all that we have been seeking and glimpsed the greater dream. Yeah, it's like you guys feel so over-identified with this deep feeling of guilt of something that happened so many years ago, like all these years ago, whenever this society was still around, like a long time ago. And I feel like part of what you need to do here is realize that this was part of your soul's growth. And I feel like you guys really need to let go of something, but it's like, I'm not really getting yet like the details of what happened. It's almost like something happened and then like poof, like you guys passed, you died, and the society fell, and like you just have this deep soul memory of something that happened. We have here, remember that you are an infinite being with the ability to expand your awareness beyond space and time. Yeah, so you guys have the ability to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm hearing soul fragments and refraction. So there's something about you guys having left a piece of your soul in this time period, and you guys feel like a part of you is missing. But I'm also getting that you guys have the ability to basically regress yourself back to this time period to see what actually happened. Maybe that's something that you guys need to do. Consider that paradigms outside this physical reality may be unfathomable until we raise our vibration and can think outside the mind. Yeah. It's like, it's literally what I'm feeling. It's like you guys don't know what the hell happened. You just have this feeling that something happened and you feel guilty. And I feel like what you guys are being asked to do is to go back in time, in your mind, in meditation, to see what actually happened here. Here we go. Yeah, meditate on the idea that everything that ever was and ever will be is happening simultaneously right now across multiple dimensions. So I really feel like you guys have the ability to do past life regression, to do a lot of like deep spiritual healing work. Like, you guys are able to do this. You guys might even be healers, or you guys might aspire to be like a shaman or some sort of spiritual healer. We have here, let's see, karma, or what can be implemented or cleared for your optimal progress toward ascension. This talks about the crown chakra being very important. And again, with this karma about being implemented or cleared, I really do feel like you have to do a lot of healing work. I would definitely recommend you guys to go to a shaman, a healer, someone who can help you work through what happened and help you tap into these energies, because I really do feel like you still hold on to it. At least your soul does, and your soul needs to let go of this. Yeah. There's a big mission for you guys in this lifetime to get close to God, universe, source, whatever you believe in. That's part of what you're meant to do. So I really do feel like you are meant to become a healer in this lifetime. You're definitely meant to help others, but I feel like you have to go through it first. You have to process what happened to you. And again, I'm not really seeing it, but I feel like for each of you, it's going to be different. Let's see. So let me ask this first question, and then I'll try to see what the details are. I'm getting that some of you guys could actually block it subconsciously. Like, there's a part of you that does not want to remember what happened. Maybe you're very traumatized by what happened. Some of you guys might even have like dreams of drowning, or dreams of like big fights breaking out, or like some sort of underwater war. I'm getting that some of you guys were definitely some sort of leader or official in this lifetime. Let's see. What else can you tell me, please, about pile 2's soul origin? Ace of Pentacles, yeah. You guys were definitely a leader. What else can you tell me about pile 2's soul origin? The Empress. You guys could have been like a king or a queen. I don't know what they called them back then. 5 of Wands. Here's that conflict breaking out. Oh, I see. I see. I'm hearing that for some of you, you were blamed or scapegoated for something that happened here, maybe by your family or by other people in the community. You were definitely someone who was very looked up to by some people, but I feel like other people did not like this about you. 3 of Cups. You could have faced a lot of conflict or competition from other people. And I feel like what happened here is maybe others scapegoated you, or they blamed you for something, or some sort of war or like fight broke out. But it was because of what someone else said or what someone else did, and maybe you feel guilty for it. There's something about like you guys feeling guilty. Clarify the 5 of Wands. What happened here? What happened here? King of Pentacles. There was definitely some sort of competition when it came to a like a leadership position, like a king's position, an emperor's position, a queen's position, whatever they called them back then. This could have even had to do with like a love situation. Someone could have overthrown someone's partner, or someone's partner could have been involved here. Why does pile 2 feel guilty? Why does pile 2 feel guilty? Hangman, yeah, sacrifice. You guys feel like you either sacrifice someone or someone sacrificed you, yeah. Burden, demands, overload. I'm getting that you could have made a decision that you thought was the right decision based on someone else's word. Maybe you didn't do your own, like you didn't check for yourself, or you didn't take your own ideas into consideration. You kind of just took someone's word for something, and I feel like you were responsible for someone else's death, or you were responsible for someone else's overthrow, or you were blamed for something. Because there's something here about you guys feeling like you were so stressed out, and you were so like you were definitely in a position of leadership. You were responsible for many people, places, and things. And it's either like someone scapegoated you, or you did this to someone without like actually studying, or without like actually looking into something before you made a decision. And it's almost like you made an impulse decision, or you made a decision that you thought was going to be the right outcome, but it wasn't. And I really feel like it has to do with someone else's death, or your death. What happened to pile 2? 2 of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. The World and the 4 of Wands. For some of you, definitely, it's like I'm getting both sides, so it really depends. I feel like you definitely have to do your own meditation on this. But for some of you guys, it's like you were so talented, you were so powerful that other people felt like they had to sacrifice you. They felt like having you around was a burden, so they sacrificed you. But I really feel like if you guys feel guilty for something, it's like you just made the wrong decision. You made the wrong call about something. Clarify the Two of Pentacles. Maybe you put the wrong person in power. I'm getting that you left the wrong person in responsible for something. Three of Pentacles, Five of Cups. Yeah. You put the wrong person in power, and this led to a lot of sorrow. This led to you having to possibly even leave. Maybe you left. Yeah, maybe you left. You left this time period, this lifetime, like you kind of escaped it before anything could happen, before anything worse could happen. But there's something here about, yeah, it's like you put the wrong person in charge, or maybe I'm hearing elected an official. You elected the wrong official. I don't know. You gave responsibility to the wrong person, and you feel like this was the downfall of the society. And this is what you feel guilty for. So how can pile 2 work through this energy? Two of Swords. Are you guys, it's like you don't remember it. You don't see it. You don't remember it. You definitely have to do some sort of regression to remember what happened here, because I feel like it will lead to kind of this door flooding open, rushing open with this energy of you finally realizing why you feel this way. Clarify the Two of Swords. Page of Cups, the World. Yeah, some of you guys, it's like some of you guys are afraid. You have Four of Wands here. Some of you guys feel a little bit intimidated or afraid of what you'll find is what I'm getting. But you have to take that chance on yourself. You have to be able to, yeah, it's like some of you guys are really scared of your gifts. Like you're scared of seeing the truth. Or some of you guys, it's like you don't even know that you have these psychic gifts, or that you have the ability to tap into, I'm hearing Akashic records, or to do soul retrieval or things like this. But you have to be able to do it for yourself first, or you need someone to help you first. I do see you guys being a little bit scared, but willing to do it, to figure out what happened here. What advice can we give to pile 2? Queen of Cups, Ace of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. Exactly. Exactly. This understanding, this clarity, this truth about what you're going to find is going to help you connect to your intuition. It's almost like this, whatever happened in this past life, this lifetime where your soul originates from Atlantis, from this sea life, you're still connected to it, but it's been blocked off for so long because you've either hidden it, or whether it was when you were born that you forgot what happened. But it's like you guys need to find out where this feeling comes from, and once you do, you're going to be able to see things a lot clearer and move forward with your life, whatever you decide to do from that point on. Yeah. But ultimately, it's like this is going to bring you back to being able to truly channel your feminine side and your creativity, your intuition, because I really feel like that side could be blocked for you. You guys feel guilty. And which in turn leads me to go back to you guys maybe repressing your sexual nature, repressing your sensuality, repressing your beauty, repressing all of these feminine things about you that you still feel the consequences of, because you haven't fully come to terms with what happened, or you don't even know the truth about what happened. Yeah, I really do feel like once you do this, it's going to be like the blockage released from this energy, from this lifetime, and you're going to be able to feel a lot clearer. I'm getting a lot of chakras being realigned, and you guys feeling a lot like more mentally and emotionally clear. And I really do feel like, honestly, whatever happened here, or you not remembering this, it has been one of the causes of you feeling repressed in this lifetime right now. I really do feel like you guys have maybe sexual shame. You could have been through some sort of assault or abuse, or like I said, emotional manipulation. Or maybe you did this to others, who knows? But there's something about like you being, your feminine side being blocked, and it has to do with this. And you really have to heal this, unlock the memory, process it, release it, and then have this clarity moving forward so you can live your life in peace. Yeah, because I really do feel like a lot of you guys have this like deep soul, like just guilt, like pain, depression, or something like that. And some of you guys, it's like, why do I feel this way? Or it's like, you've always felt this way. And I really feel like this is why. And I feel like working through this is going to help you a lot. Yeah. Four of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Star. I feel like you guys have this this mission to help heal others as well. I really do feel like you could have very strong spiritual gifts that are meant to play a part in this lifetime. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I feel like this is a good place to leave it. I hope I was able to connect you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you. Bye. Hey Pile 3, if you guys have chosen resin, this is going to be your reading on your soul's origin, where you come from. So what I wanted to discuss about resin is that resin is a substance that preserves. Resin is a substance that keeps things intact. It was reminding me of like fossils and things that we can keep, things that we can see many, many years down the line because it's been kept preserved in such a nice way. Resin definitely, it hardens over material or substance, and it allows things to stay intact. So what I was getting as a download is that some of you guys could come from a very like ancient humanoid civilization where maybe humans were first originating. I was getting like Neanderthal energy for you guys. I was getting an energy of definitely living in a time period of prehistoric times. Definitely like cavemen times. Prehistoric energy is coming through where you were alive with the very first humans. So I'm very interested to see what this reading has for you guys. So what I'm going to start is reading what the I can't think. I'm in channeling mode. I was going to say the scripture. Yeah, this even proves too that you guys were definitely alive during like ancient times. It could have even been like ancient Egypt or something like that, where it's like I'm seeing hieroglyphics. I'm seeing like papyrus paper, like the first papers. I'm definitely getting like caveman, Neanderthal, the first humans. But yeah, let's read what the book says. So we have here, resin is holding, adhering, and surrounding. Make sure you guys can see. Okay. Resin is a miraculous material. It offers both stability and transparency. For centuries, sculptors and archivists have used it to capture an object in time and place, preserving it for observation or adoration. I'm getting this interesting download where it's like if you guys were alive during this time period, where like there were ancient humans or the first humans, primitive human beings, it's almost like you could have created something or written something or have something fossilized in a museum that you could go see, which is a very interesting download. So it's like you could go see yourself, you could go see your own creations or your own like community, your own ancestors by going to some sort of museums here. I'm not sure where, obviously everyone lives in a different location, but it's very interesting to think about that you could go see something from where you originate from. We have here, envision a delicate insect or flower suspended in a paperweight. Such is the alchemical energy of resin. Its qualities are protective, sealing, and hardening. When this card appears, there is a holding that's occurring, either literally or psychically. While well-intended, someone may be limiting the one they wish to protect. There may be an aspect of nostalgia at work in the laboratory, an unwillingness to let go or change. On the other hand, the resin card can indicate preservation of that which is most valued, a return to what's been lost. I'm getting that some of you guys could be fixed placements, like Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, specifically Taurus, Capricorn. I'm getting also like some of you guys could be Gemini or Virgo. There's something like very, because I'm hearing like dexterity, or I'm seeing like how cavemen and like the Neanderthals, they were very skilled with their hands, with manual labor. They were very physically fit. So there's something about you guys, I don't know, maybe even in this lifetime, you might feel like you're very meticulous. You might be multi-talented. Maybe you work with your hands. Maybe you just know, it's like you have street smarts. I'm getting that you guys have street smarts. I'm also getting that you guys could have been in like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. You could like camping a lot, like you being close to the earth, you living very minimally. It's comforting for you, and it's because you come from a time period where it's like humans were just coming into discovery and we didn't really have much advancement. Something like that. Some of you guys really like being alone as well. But yeah, it's like if someone were to put you guys in the woods, like Naked and Afraid, or like one of those shows where you have to survive in the wild, like you guys would definitely make it. I'm also getting a reference to the Hunger Games. Like you guys might be very like skilled with creating traps, or just some of you guys might even know like a lot of plants or animals. Like you have a lot of facts and knowledge about plants and animals, like what you can eat, what you can't eat, predator, prey. It's like you guys are very knowledgeable about the earth, and you have street smarts. You just know how to survive, and it's because you come from this time period. Yeah, okay, so let's get back here. So we have the original forms of resin came from the buffs of the pine tree and the bee. Let your mind wander into metaphors of pine, pitch, and propolis. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You guys are very connected to the earth. So we have here, with its sap-like stickiness, the resin card affects the whole reading. It indicates the cards that appear are bonded together, and likely you're witnessing an old pairing or pattern. Yeah. So this proves, again, it's like you guys could be fixed placements. Like you guys are very fixed in your ways. You guys could be very stubborn. I'm getting that maybe you guys hold grudges, or when you're angry, you get very angry. There's something about you guys being very like stable as well, like stable in your emotions, stable in your energy, where it's very hard to change your mind. It's very difficult for you to change maybe your habits or what you're doing in life. You guys like things done a certain way, definitely. I'm getting that for some of you. It's almost like you guys could have been loners. Maybe you were definitely part of a community. There were other people like you, but I'm definitely getting a loner energy. Like you guys were a lone wolf. You really liked being alone. I'm getting like a masculine energy as well. You were like a hunter. Like I'm getting hunter-gathering energy now. Like you were able to fend for yourself. You didn't really need anybody. You learned how to survive on your own. It's really giving me like this feeling of like one of these people who just lives in the woods by themselves, and they don't talk to anybody. They don't see anybody else. Let's go ahead and lay out your oracle cards, see what else we get. So we have Balanced Forces. This is such a beautiful card. I just love the colors on this. Okay, and then we have Empathic Starseed. Interesting. Energetic Sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. This is throwing a little bit of a loop in here. Let me sit on this for a second. I feel like this is tying two different things together. It's kind of making references to your identity as a spirit form before you were in this time period, but it's like this is where your soul kind of comes from. This is what you know to be true. Like this is what you're comfortable with. But there's something here about like I heard over identifying. So maybe you became very comfortable with this way of being. You became very comfortable with like the physical reality, which is kind of very different from the other two piles. So it's like you came here obviously as a spirit form, but you became very over-identified with the earth, with the physical body. You guys, of all the other piles, it's like you guys have mastered the physical reality, which is probably why we're seeing Balanced Forces here, absorbing what's not yours. Yeah, you guys are very sensitive emotionally. And maybe this is why I'm getting that this could have been a time period where you lived on your own, or you didn't really interact with others. There was not much society. And I feel like it has a lot to do, well, now, right now in this lifetime where you're watching this, it's like you guys feel, maybe you guys are still loners. You like to be alone. You don't really need anyone around you to get by. You know how to take care of yourself. It's like the whole I don't need anybody trope. But I feel like a lot of it is because you're very sensitive, you're very intuitive, you're very psychic, and picking up on other people's energies can be very draining for you. You guys have a tendency to maybe mesh your energies with other energies, which also makes sense while we have the resin, and how in the book it was saying that any of the other cards that come out in this reading are meshed together. This is crazy. Yeah, so it's like you maybe have a hard time with boundaries. Maybe you guys have a hard time putting up boundaries with other people, keeping those boundaries. And we even see like a girl looking in the mirror here. So maybe when you look at yourself, you see someone else, or you don't recognize yourself. I'm hearing the song from Mulan, "Who is that girl I see? When will my reflection show who I am?" Yeah, some of you guys, it's like you guys feel very, it's kind of weird because it's like you guys feel very weird in your intuitive nature. Maybe you don't feel comfortable on that side, or at least when it comes to other people. It's like when it comes to your own energy, very balanced. You know how to be yourself, you know how to take care of yourself, you know what your energy feels like. But it's like as soon as you have other people in the mix, or as soon as you're around other people, it's very difficult for you to remain constant or stable. Some of you guys could be air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be mutable. I was definitely getting Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces. Not so much Sagittarius, but you could be. It's more so like this mutable energy where you feel like your energy is malleable and you feel very fixed and confident on your own. But when you get around other people, maybe you forget who you are, or it's difficult to kind of keep that space of this is me, this is you. Keep that boundary. You guys, yeah. I feel it, yeah. It's almost like you, obviously, we all come from the ethers. But it's like as soon as you came into this incarnation, as soon as you experience what it was like to be a primitive human being, it's like you kind of forgot about this side of you. And then you just kind of learn to not deal with it. Okay? I'm going to read the balanced forces now. Okay, this is very interesting. We have yin and yang, productive flow, masculine and feminine energy, the balance of duality, patriarchal paradigm being rebalanced, equality, balance, and perspective. Yeah. So one of your challenges here is to learn how to reconnect to that feminine side of you while also keeping this very survival, strong mindset as well. It's like you can have both. The Lemurian people are said to have been androgynous, meaning they were not a specific gender. As they were only partially formed in the physical realm, they did not inhabit a paradigm of duality. They were a perfect balance of what became masculine and feminine energy as it is densified in physical form. We all hold a mix of masculine and feminine energies with us. Masculine energy is more about focus in a forward direction, while feminine energy is more holistic and peripheral. Masculine energy is that of logistics and actioning desires into being, and it has more of a controlled and rigid vibration. Feminine energy is freer flowing, nurturing, creative, and receptive. Both sides are to be celebrated, but in our efforts to rebalance, inequality and prejudice can occur. Okay, I see what this is. I feel like when you guys were, it's like when your soul was in the ethers, you came down in this lifetime as a primitive human being. It's like some of the first human beings to ever exist. You guys had such a hard experience in this lifetime. It was very difficult for you to the point that you closed off your feminine side. Like you closed off that nurturing, receptive side because you had to be a survivor. You had to learn how to survive in the wild. You had to learn how to get your own food, how to withstand changing temperatures and changing seasons. And there's something here about you guys even like either losing it or like shutting it off because you had to survive. So some of you guys have a very strong survival instinct, like I was saying. Maybe even in this lifetime, you could have experienced situations where it's like it replayed itself in some ways where you really had to be in your masculine energy in order to get by. And maybe the feminine side got lost, or you just like you consciously turned it off. In the current paradigm, masculine and feminine energies are imbalanced as our global culture is largely patriarchal and strongly influenced by masculine energy. Efforts to revitalize the feminine flow have been incrementally shifting the balance over the last century. It is time to calm mind-based intellect, scientific data, linear direction, and the acquisition of power. To have an optimal human experience, we must embody a balance of masculine and feminine energies. We can daydream in receptive fluidity and then action our ideas into reality. We can be soft and nurturing and also firm and direct as needed. Yeah, okay, this is definitely, yeah. So this is taking me back to like your energy. You're very comfortable on your own, but as soon as there's other people involved, it's like you get wishy-washy or you get nervous, or it's like you don't know how to stand up for yourself. It's like you don't know how much of yourself to be. It's like, should I be more stern? Should I be more nice? Should I be more open? Should I put up more boundaries? Like that's something you guys struggle with because you've had so much experience being a loner that being around other people is almost uncomfortable for you to the point that you don't know how to deal with their energies. We can be determined, compassionate, and grateful, vulnerable, visionary, and strong. There can be focus and free flow. We may not draw on these energies simultaneously, but when we access both equally, we can truly be powerful, centered beings. When we bridge the duality within ourselves, we can seed more balance in our outer world. This card invites you to look at masculine and feminine energy from a more balanced perspective. Yeah, balanced forces. Is the situation at hand the more masculine side of the spectrum? Can it be tempered with feminine energy? Vice versa, would the addition of masculine energy bring balance? What needs to happen to form a more holistic and equalized foundation? Yeah. So it's like a big part of you right now in this lifetime, you're meant to learn how to have boundaries. You're meant to learn how to balance your masculine and feminine because you were overly identified with masculine. We have here, do you normally hold a position of one extreme? Yeah, how might you balance this so you can experience a more optimized state of being? To bring more masculine drive and focus to a situation, focus on your goals, desires, and ambitions. If you want to engage more feminine energy for receptivity, trust, flow, and surrender, consider all the things you are grateful for already. Feel the warmth, gratitude, and comfort of knowing everything is divinely protected just the way it is. I'm getting some of you guys have trust issues, and it's definitely because of whatever experience you had here as like a very primitive human being. Yeah, it's like you guys just learned how to take care of yourselves, how to get along, how to survive. And I feel like when you've had past lives like that, when you've had an experience like that, it's very difficult to let that go. It's very difficult to learn how to lower down your guard and to shed your armor and to be more open, because it's like, and what I really feel with you guys is like you guys are the big teddy bears. Like you guys could be super like the street smart person, very like maybe your persona, like what you show the world, is very hard, very masculine. It's like, yeah, I got this, I can take care of this, I don't need anybody. But it's like deep down you're like that soft teddy bear energy, whether you're a woman or a man. It's like you guys have such a soft side that you hide due to trauma or due to just your conscious decision to having, it's like you found no purpose in it, so you had to turn it off. And a big part of what you're meant to do here is to bring them both back into balance, to learn how to heal from survival mentality and to learn how to connect with other people in a comfortable way for you. Okay, so let's get some tarot cards to further see what's going on here. Yeah, I really feel like you guys came back because you have to heal what happened to you. It's like this, I really feel like this was your first lifetime and it was so traumatizing for you. Or maybe you just, that's all you knew. Maybe you had a couple lifetimes like this. This was all you knew. And it's very difficult for you to break out of it. And I feel like you're given this experience to do something different. What else can you tell me, please, about pile 3's soul origin? Ace of Swords, yeah. Again, I'm getting this like internalized intelligence, this internalized energy of like, I know what to do. I know how to take care of myself. Oh, it's a lot. 10 of Swords, yeah. Queen of Cups, yep. Death, wow. And the Ace of Pentacles with the 9 of Swords. It's pretty much exactly what I'm saying, you guys. Let me just lay these out. You definitely experienced some sort of trauma or pain, or definitely a lot of, I mean, think about it. It's like when humans were first around, it's like you had to learn how to survive. We're basically like wild animals. We're very tied to our wild nature. What's the word I'm looking for? Primal nature. You were very primal. I feel like your primal instincts are very strong. I feel like your root chakra and your sacral chakra are very, very strong. And then I feel like the upper chakras need some work. So like your solar plexus could be very strong as well, definitely. Because I feel like you guys are very grounded, but there's something about like your heart, throat, third eye, crown chakra. It's like it's very blocked. And I really feel like what happened here is that you went through something very difficult, or the lifetime was difficult, or you just went through so much trial and error, learning how to survive. You could have lost people along the way. You could have experienced death, loss, illness, whatever it may be. And this Queen of Cups side of you, this feminine side of you, really got closed off. 9 of Swords, and this is what you guys struggle with now, anxiety, worry. It's like you guys maybe overthink a lot. You isolate a lot. You definitely feel like it's hard to connect to others. I'm hearing like, what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? Some of you guys might feel that way. Clarify the 10 of Swords. What happened here? 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like I'm getting that you guys worked so hard for something. You put so much time, energy, effort, physical labor into something, and it did not pay off for you. The Hangman could just simply be this survival energy. It's like no matter how hard you tried, no matter how much food you brought, no matter how early you woke up or how many miles you walked, it's like you could not survive. You could not get by with something. And I feel like maybe you were in, for some of you, it's like you were in charge of someone else. You were a caretaker for someone else and you could not provide for them. And so maybe you decided to leave. You decided to go off on your own because the pain was too significant for you of having loss and having to deal with the fact that you could not take care of other people. So this could be another reason why it's very difficult for you to connect to other energies, because there's a lot of pain tied up to caring for others, or there's a lot of pain tied up to like you putting so much effort into something for it to not pay off. Clarify the Death card. Yeah, this is supposed to be a very powerful lesson for you. We have the Hangman again. You guys are definitely coming. You're supposed to have this life experience now to experience life in a different way. A new way that you haven't experienced it before. You're meant to have a different perspective, because in this lifetime, I don't feel like you're supposed to struggle as much as you did here. You're supposed to see things differently. You're supposed to connect to this softer side of you and approach life differently. I really do feel like you guys are meant to have some form of prosperity. You guys are meant to ground yourself in reality in a different way. Clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Nine of Swords. Yeah, you guys really stress out about, you guys might even have, I'm getting King of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. You guys might even have like this dream, right? You guys have this dream of what you want to do with your life, what you want to create, like in the material world. But it's like you guys have this fear of like, what if it doesn't work? Because it didn't work in this past life. Because everything that I put effort towards, it's like it just falls apart, or people leave, or people die, or like nothing works. But this is definitely a fear of your past. And I feel like what you guys are really meant to do is work past this fear. Get past this fear and create whatever you want to create, because I really feel like some of you guys could be very prosperous financially, or you could start some sort of, I'm hearing nonprofit, like you could start some sort of business, or you could open up some sort of facility or do something physical that is going to make you very successful. But you have to get past your fear, and you have to be able to, King of Wands, it's like this is a very confident, single, like solitary person. They don't need anybody, right? But it's like you're meant to get past that. Maybe you guys need to ask for help, or maybe you guys are meant to let go of this feeling of needing to be independent and do everything on your own all the time. Clarify the Nine of Swords. Ten of Cups, yeah. Wheel of Fortune. For some of you, the idea of family really makes you anxious. The idea of being in charge of other people really makes you anxious. I really feel like if you had a family in this experience, in this lifetime here, where you were like a caveman and a Neanderthal, whatever it may be, it was not a good one. Like maybe your family died. Someone died. Like someone got ill. Someone just died of natural causes, of starvation, of whatever it may be. And you guys have a lot of anxiety tied up to family. Maybe you guys are single. Maybe you guys don't have any kids. Maybe you guys want this. Maybe some of you want it, but you feel very scared at the same time. I really do feel like I'm connecting to like a bachelor, a bachelorette, someone who has never settled down in life, or who maybe has never followed their true dream or calling because they have so many fears because of what happened to them in the past. Like your soul remembers this. Your human consciousness might not remember exactly what happened, because our human consciousness is only this existence right now, but your soul remembers everything you've ever been through. And I feel like this is what you guys are feeling. Can we get some advice for pile 3? Eight of Swords, yeah. Wheel of Fortune. This part here, it's kind of similar to pile 1. So what you guys are meant to do is break out of this mind space that you've trapped yourself in. Break out of this fear. A lot of you guys live in fear and in survival, and you're meant to break out of that. And I feel like yeah, I really feel, I was telling this to pile 2 as well. I feel like Reiki healing, past life regression, hypnotherapy, some sort of spiritual healing is going to be very helpful for you. Even talk therapy I'm getting. But I feel like this is a very deep like soul thing, like a soul issue. It's not like a, oh, I'm mentally ill or something happened to me in this lifetime. And while it maybe it did, maybe you have gone through more trauma in this lifetime that has made it worse. I feel like it stems from something that you guys need to have a professional help you with, because this is something that you need help remembering. This is something that you need help to get past. And I feel like once you Maybe remember where you come from, remember what happened, remember the experience that you guys had. It's going to be easier for you to get out of your head, because you guys definitely live like you're stuck in your head. You're trapped in fear. You're afraid to be vulnerable. You're afraid to connect. You're afraid to fall in love. You're afraid to actually follow through with something. I'm getting an energy from you guys that maybe you start things or you get into connections, but it's like you psych yourself out, or you ghost people, or you start a business or you start a project, but you quit halfway through. And it's like you guys have this fear that's literally holding you back, and it doesn't even come from right now. It comes from this experience, this past life experience that you guys need to work through, because you are meant to follow through with something. So what is this Ace of Pentacles going to bring? Pile 3. 4 of Cups, yeah. The Sun. So again, I'm getting this energy that you guys don't see it yet. Maybe you're not at the point yet where you're able to, we have here yearning, disillusion, and boredom. You guys feel unsatisfied in life. You guys are not happy with where you are right now. You guys feel like there's something missing in your life. And I really feel that finding out what happened, working through it, processing that, working through your emotions and learning to be comfortable in that side of you is going to really help you step into this Sun energy. We have light, life, energy. You're going to have much more of a purpose. There's something about purpose. Maybe you don't feel connected to a purpose, and I feel like your purpose is going to reveal itself to you once you're able to connect to your emotions, to balance out these masculine and feminine energies. Because I really feel like, yeah, it's like you over-identify with your masculine, but it's kind of choppy. It's kind of choppy because you have a survival wound that needs to be dealt with. And yeah, once you're able to deal with that, some of you, I'm hearing that you're not ready. Some of you are, depending on how old you are. But I feel like it's time, especially if you see this reading, it's probably time for you to work through this, because you guys are meant to be in this energy. And your soul purpose will reveal itself to you, what you're supposed to do once you hit this point. But this is what I'm seeing for you guys. Yeah, Ace of Wands, Mother Star. Ultimately, you're meant to do something different that you've never done before. So think of it that way. Think about everything that you're comfortable with and familiar with, and the things that you have done. You're meant to do the opposite of that. I'm hearing for you guys to look towards your North Node in your birth chart, because that will tell you your nodal axis, specifically like your South Node and your North Node, because the South Node will tell you where you came from, what you've experienced in the past, what you're comfortable with, and the North Node is where you need to go, things that you have not done, things that are out of your comfort zone, but you still need to do in order to grow in this lifetime. Because yeah, I really feel like you guys are like overly attached to your South Node right now out of fear. And in order to have this Sun energy, in order to bring this new experience, you need to step into the North Node. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here for you. I really hope I was able to connect to you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you.